Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to cut this beautiful blouse. For this blouse I made use of 2 yards of fabric. It's a very simple tutorial, it's beginner friendly. Stay with me as I take you through the cutting process. So for this tutorial I made use of 2 yards of fabric. Like I said earlier, we are going to be placing our fabric on fold. It's folded into 4. The length I have here is 25 inches. The length I have here is 25 inches. I folded my fabric into 4, and now I'm going to be taking my body's measurements. So firstly, we take our neckline measurements. For my neckline opening, I used 6 inches, and I am going to make a mark at that point. I'll make a mark at that point. Then from the middle, I'll take because it's a kimono top, so I'm going to take the length of the dress. That's the length of the sleeve, because it's going to be a cut together top. So that was what I marked right there, and I was just trying to confirm my measurement again. I'm trying to make that mark and make sure it's very, the dress is, I'm using a white chalk, so it's not really showing. So now for my sleeve opening, I used 12 inches for my sleeve opening. You can decide to use 10 depending on how big you are. So I marked it into a straight line, and that is it. Then from that point, I took my bust measurement divided by 4. I made the mark and I added about 4 to 5 inches ease. I'm not so sure. Okay, yeah, I added about 4 to 5 inches ease as my ease at that point. So I took my waistline measurements. My waist is 17. My half length rather is 17 inches. I made the mark there. The purpose of this is so that I can know where my shredding will start from. So I marked it into a straight line. And from that point, I took 5 inches down for my shredding. So I made it also into a straight line. So that's where I'm going to be shredding. I don't know if you understand what I mean. That's where I'm going to be shredding. So I was just trying to trim out the excess there. That's the hem of my blouse. So I was just trying to cut out the excess at that point. And remember, I said the full length of this blouse is 25 inches. So it's a very simple tutorial. That's the hem of the blouse. I was trying to confirm my body's measurements. Okay, I think I just took the measurement. I took it down, straight down. The same measurement I took on my bust line. I said my bust divided by 4, then I added 5 inches. So I just took it straight down. Then at that point, I made it into a little, I gave it a little shape because I wanted it to look like a fillet. So I made it into a little curve. So at this point, I took my shoulder slope, 1 inch shoulder slope, and I connected to my 6-inch neckline. I made it into a straight line, just like that. And I already connected my sleeve opening, and I'm going to connect my armhole to the hemline. So the next thing now for us is to cut out. But before doing that, I'm going to make the lines for my shredding. They are going to be 1/2 inch apart. You have to make them really close so that the shredding can come out really nice. So that's what I'm trying to do at that point. I'm trying to use my tape rule for the sake of this tutorial. So they are going to be 1/2 inch apart. I'm making those markings there. You can decide to do it. Make those markings with your chalk, then make it into a straight line, and you can decide not to. But I'm just doing this for the sake of this tutorial. So I'm going to take my ruler now and mark them into a straight line. So I'll mark it into a straight line and also I'll repeat on the other side of the dress. So I'll just do that off camera. If you've watched to this point, please, I'm so grateful. Thanks for coming back here to watch my tutorials. I hope you learned one or two things so far, and please, if you are watching this video, please, and you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'll be dropping more tutorials, more beginner friendly tutorials. I'm going to be dropping tutorials for us, and you are going to be learning a lot on this space. Thanks for watching to this point. I really do appreciate. Please like, share, comment. So at this point, I am cutting out. I added ½ inch for my stitching allowance, so I'm cutting out right now. You can drop a comment. If there's a style you want me to recreate, you can just send it to me and we'll work on it. So I'm cutting out at this point now. So now I'm going to notch my waist area. I made the mark on just this side. I will notch that point and also notch where the shredding would stop, so that I won't get confused, because I'm going to be making these straight lines on the other side of my fabric. I hope you understand. And I'm also making a notch. Okay, I'm opening the neck area up, and I will also make a notch at that point, because I'll be folding it in by ½ inch. I'm going to be folding it in with my hemming gum. I just slash it open with ½ inch. So right now, the next thing for us to do now is to take it to the sewing machine. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go and shred it, but something happened. NEPA took light, so I could not record. So I didn't record those parts, but I'm going to be explaining. So I'll take it. The first thing I'll do now is to go and shred on my sewing machine. I'll be using my smoking thread and my normal thread. So I'm going to be showing us what the smoking thread looks like as we proceed in the video. So I just opened it up at this point to show us, and I'm going to be marking it. I'm going to be marking those lines into a straight line. I'll be marking them into a straight line, and we continue like that. So I'll be showing us the results we have now. After this, I'll be showing us what we had after doing this. I just took it to the sewing machine. You pass your smoking thread in your reeler. You reel it. You don't need to reel it tightly, and you pass your normal thread on your machine. So the smoking thread will be beneath. So at this point, I have joined the dress. Like I said, NEPA took light, so I could not record all these parts. So I already smoked the thread. I already joined it by the side, and these are the thread I used. I used the smoking thread like I explained initially. It was reeled into my reeler. Then the white one was at the upper part of my machine. So it's a very, very easy process, and if you want me to show you, if you don't understand, I can choose to make a little tutorial on that. So what I did was, so that was the first thing I did, the shredding. I smoked the waistline first before joining the dress at the shoulder area. So I'm going to be turning this dress in for us to see what I'm saying. So it was after the shredding I joined at the shoulder. It was after the shredding I joined at the shoulder, and I emptied. I closed the sleeve area. I joined it by the side and also at the hem line. So if you've watched to this point, I am very, very grateful. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with me to this point. I'm very, very grateful, and I'll be dropping more interesting tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. Beautiful tutorial and exciting tutorial. Thank you so much. If you've not subscribed, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So this is the outcome. I already used my hemming gum on the neckline, but note, if this is just for the sake of this tutorial. If I'll be giving this dress to a client, I'm going to weave that neck area before hemming it. So that is what we have, and that is what the dress looks like on my thumbnail. Thanks for watching. Bye.